Maratha reservation protests. Activist Manoj Jarange Patel concludes his 5-day hunger strike and calls off the protest, claiming victory as 6 out of his 8 demands are fulfilled. As you all know, Maratha reservation demand is not a new demand. In fact, even before the Mandal Commission report, even before the implementation of OBC reservation, Marathas started demanding reservation. They constitute around 32% of Maharashtra population. The Marathas who are living in Marathwada region and other shadow regions of Western Ghats, they don't have surplus productivity of agriculture. Politically, they are very strong. In fact, if you see, out of 20 CMs in Maharashtra from 1960, 12 are from Maratha community. In spite of that, socially and economically, they are backwards. So, they expect reservations. They are asking for reservations. They are demanding for reservations. They expect reservation. They are asking for reservation and they are demanding for reservation. In fact, I can tell you, 7 years back, 8 years back, Maharashtra government Maharashtra Assembly passed a bill providing 16% reservation for Marathas. That went to Bombay High Court, and Bombay High Court uplifted the reservations but reduced 12% in education, 13% in jobs. Then the appeal went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court struck down the reservations given to Marathas, saying that it is against 50% cap which was given in Indra Sahane versus Union of India case. Not only that, Justice 𝐾𝐨𝐰𝐧𝐥𝐨𝐚𝐝 Commission, which was appointed to recommend about the backwardness of Maratha community, they have not taken proper and appropriate data with respect to their backwardness while recommending the 16% reservation to them. So, Supreme Court also said, without properly collecting the adequate data, if you provide reservation to a particular community, it is against Article 14, Article 15, 16 and Article 19. So with all these reasons, Supreme Court struck down the reservations given to Marathas. But Manoj Jarange Patel, who led the movement for Maratha reservation, from the last 4-5 days, he is in Mumbai and the entire traffic in Mumbai got jammed and Bombay High Court also got angry on that. And Bombay High Court said, immediately, within a single day, the entire people who came for protests to Mumbai, they don't have any right to stall and make the life of the people in Mumbai stand still. So they have to vacate Mumbai immediately. So, and Bombay High Court also asked that Manoj Jarange Patel should also go out of Mumbai from that place. So, Marathas form around 32% of Maharashtra's population. Historically, they are agrarian, warrior community, linked to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Socially, they are dominant. Politically, they are powerful. Despite dominance, a large section faces agrarian distress, as you all know, like our Godavari districts or like our Karimnagar and other districts. There is no excess or surplus agriculture produce for them because most of the districts there, particularly the eastern part, particularly some certain parts of that region, they are shadowed by Western Ghats. This is the important thing. Farmer indebtedness, unemployment, and lack of upward mobility. Farmer indebtedness, unemployment, and lack of upward mobility. And they're asking reservations in education and government jobs, primarily through inclusion in OBC quota. If you see, in 2014, Maharashtra government grants 16% reservation for Marathas under socially and educationally backward class. From 2016 to 2018, silent Maratha Kranti Morcha demanding for reservation and justice. In 2018, Maharashtra Assembly passed SEBC, Socially and Educationally Backward Classes Act, granting 16% quota for Marathas. In 2019, Bombay High Court upholds the quota but reduces it to 12% in education and 13% in jobs. 12% in education and 13% in jobs. In 2021, Supreme Court in Lakshman Rao Patil versus State of Maharashtra, said that this Maratha reservation quota is unconstitutional and it was struck down. And you all know that in 2023, 2024 and 2025, Manoj Jarange Patil, an activist, revived the protests, demands Kunbi caste certificates for Marathas, and large scale, if you observe, large scale mobilizations, suicides, transport disruptions that are going on. In 2024, Maharashtra State Assembly passed 10% separate quota for Marathas. In 2025, now the protests intensified. Government issued government resolutions to recognize Marathas as Kunbis. So, this is a story of the entire Maratha reservation. Very important as in our caste politics, regional politics, and Indian polity and IGP, Indian government and politics. This is a special case study which you need to mention that exam also, how caste related social movements emerge, how people will actually identify themselves with some section, with some group, with some caste, with some ethnicity. So ethnic politics, regional politics, religious politics, caste related politics, they're all the important topics. And the next important news that's coming up is, again, brain eating amoeba is in news. People, more and more number of people are getting infected by this brain eating amoeba. In Kerala state have reported a spike in primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. Multiple fatalities since the beginning of this year. Naegleria fowleri, it's a free-living thermophilic amoeba found in warm freshwater, soil, swimming pools, poorly chlorinated or stagnated water bodies. Infects humans through the nasal passage, olfactory nerve, travels via olfactory nerve to the brain. Causes primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. It is not transmitted through drinking water or person to person contact. If you drink water, it won't be transmitted through drinking water and it won't be transmitted through person to person contact. So, the incubation period of this brain eating amoeba is 1 to 19 days after exposure. This Naegleria fowleri or amoebic meningoencephalitis. Early symptoms: headache, fever, nausea. Later symptoms: stiff neck, confusion, seizures, hallucinations, coma. Almost 98% mortality rate. Death usually occurs within 5 to 18 days. No single effective treatment is available for this meningoencephalitis. So, survival is very rare. So, the most important question is, why Kerala and similar regions like Kerala are more vulnerable? Climate factor. Major factor is climate. High temperatures, humid conditions, warm, stagnant water bodies. And in Kerala, with that humid temperature, high temperatures, recreational practices like swimming pools, untreated pools, water festivals. Poor chlorination in rural semi-urban pools, lack of awareness. Rising global temperatures may expand Naegleria fowleri's habitat range. So, this is an important topic which we need to actually focus on. Most important topic. The other important topic, Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong arrived in India on September 2nd on a 3-day official visit, marking a significant milestone in the deepening strategic partnership between India and Singapore. This is the first visit of PM Lawrence Wong to India since he assumed the office. PM Lawrence Wong of Singapore, is accompanied by his wife and a high-level delegation, including cabinet ministers and senior officials. And the most important thing, India and Singapore are going to sign high-level agreements across finance, digital innovation, skill development, civil aviation, maritime cooperation, and space technology. Singapore is an important partner for India, particularly in our Act East policy. PM Wong's visit coincides with 60th anniversary of India-Singapore diplomatic relations. 60th anniversary of India-Singapore diplomatic relations, reaffirming both countries' partnership in various fields. It's very important. As you all know, in Singapore, there's a place called Little India. And Indian culture is prevalent in Singapore. It can be seen everywhere in Singapore. So many of the Tamilians, Keralites, even some Telugus, they go and work in Singapore. Singapore is a small city state, you all know that. And the other important news, Prime Minister Modi launched 𝐃𝐨𝐰𝐧𝐥𝐨𝐚𝐝 to empower rural women entrepreneurs in Bihar. 𝐃𝐶 to encourage, to empower rural women entrepreneurs in Bihar. PM Modi virtually launched Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi Sahkari Sangh Limited, a new corporate initiative aimed at providing affordable credit to the rural women entrepreneurs. So, it is an alternative financial system to reduce dependence on microfinance institutions and ensure the availability of larger loans at a lower interest rate. It's nothing but a program to empower women by providing loans at a lower interest rates. In shortcut, it's called Jivika Nidhi in Bihar. Jivika Nidhi in Bihar. Next important news that is coming up. In Indonesia, large-scale protests are going on. House rent allowance for the MPs was hiked 10 times. Almost I can tell you, in dollars count, it is around $3,000. Only house rent allowance. And in Indonesian terms, it is 50 million rupiahs. And many unemployed and youth protest against that. When people don't have employment, how can you increase the house rent allowance to such an extent? And military intervention in Indonesia's important decisions is also seen. So people don't like it. So there is large scale protest in Indonesia, and Mr. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, he promised that he immediately reduced that HRA and other things, but still protests are being continued. In Australia, there are wide-scale protests by the people saying that Indians are changing their demographics because of more than 8.5 lakh Indians present in Australia. House rents are going up, unemployment rate is rising. So, immigration profile is also changing. After UK, Australia have the largest immigration population of Indians. So, but Australian government is condemning these protests, saying that immigrants are the part of the Australian culture, and more importantly, these protests are racist. So, Indian diaspora of late are looming large in Australia. Many are trying to go and settling down in Australia. As you all know, things are not very fine in America for Indians. Now they wanted to come down and settle down in Australia. So, this is the most important news that is trending in India-Australia relations.